This is a story that I felt like it needed to be shown to my viewers pertaining to environmental changes. We have a president that at the State of the Union not one time ever mentioned anything about the crisis involving environmental changes. We have a president that don't believe in global warming. Please listen to this particular study that has been made in 2018 of what has happened and went on just in the past 5 years. This is not a theology. This is not some sort of ideology. This is facts. Please listen.
Hottest on record. In fact, the 5 warmest years in recorded history have been the last 5, and 18 of the 19 warmest years have all occurred since 2001. Last year was also the wettest in the last 35 years, as warming oceans cause more evaporation that leads to more rain. And there were 14 natural disasters that cost the U.S. at least $1 billion, well above the average. One NASA climate...
$1 billion. So my estimates was correct towards them saying that they estimated $300 million worth of damages the year before. So last year there was $1 billion just here in America alone.
Scientist says the cause is unequivocally, quote, because of the increases in the green...
Unequivocally. The cause is clear, too, he adds. Do you see that? Can you read that?
House gases that we put into the atmosphere over the last 100 years.
It's actually just, when you read that report, and I was reading some of the highlights of it, it's just like scary to think of what is happening. Very daunting. All right, with that, let's bring in...
Let's read that one more time. All right,
year was the fourth hottest on record. In fact, the 5 warmest years in recorded history have been the last 5, and 18 of the 19 warmest years have all occurred since 2001. Last year was also the wettest in the last 35 years, as warming oceans cause more evaporation that leads to more rain. And there were 14 natural disasters that cost the U.S. at least $1 billion, well above the average.
1 billion. B as in boy. 14 catastrophic events. $1 billion mark.
One NASA climate scientist says the cause is unequivocally, quote...
Here we go. The message is clear. The planet is warming. Read it for yourself. James Henry, you're in the view of the camera. Get out of the camera. People don't want to look at you. They're looking at this.
Because of the increases in the greenhouse gases that we put into the atmosphere over the last 100 years.
It's actually just, when you read that report, and I was reading some of the highlights of it, it's just like scary to think of what is happening. Very daunting. All right, with that, let's bring in Bill Cairns.
With that.
Do you guys know how many times the topic was brought up during the State of the Union?
0.
Yep.
Yeah. wonder why, Bill. You want to take that one?
We have a half hour. Yeah, but
we get tweets from the president when the weather is really cold saying, "What about global warming?"
Yeah, you made a good point.
Not how it works.
About weather.
Yeah, exactly.
Not climate.
Yeah, that's
about,
the problem.
About weather. Yeah, no,
we got to get this report in front of the president somehow.
Right. If a lot of the Democrats want a winning issue against the president, yeah, well, they may have one. So we'll see how much of a focus it is. It hasn't been in the past years. In the past debates, it was hardly even mentioned in presidential debates. I think once or twice in the debate with Hillary. So we'll see what happens in 2 years from now, a year and a half. So
we're going to leave it at that. But the bottom line is, since the ice ages, the poles have been going through extreme changes pertaining to melting of ices. And once more, the Bible verifies that man is going to be causing harm to the planet. We should have enough sense by now to be focusing on trying to reverse this. But apparently, whenever you have somebody that's in the pocket of all the rich, wealthy people, the big conglomerates, the findings is not coming from our president towards the urgency of the crisis of the planet warming up. And it really, really is sad that we have somebody with old school thinking that isn't willing yet to come around to identifying the 21st century problems. Thanks again, and we got to have a plan. We plan to the pull and then pull to the plan. We got to have a plan if we're planning on surviving, because this planet could actually become instinctive whenever it comes to people living on various places of this planet. The way that I understand it, just within the past couple of weeks over in Australia, they was having temperatures exceeding into the 120, 127 degree mark. I know by watching some of their news over there that they actually have to put fire extinguishers on the fire extinguishers to keep the fire extinguishers from burning up whenever they go out to put out a fire. In other words, they got to have water running on the equipment to prevent the equipment from melting down and going haywire while they're trying to put out a fire, because if they didn't, they never would be able to put out none of the fires. Whenever the world becomes uninhabitable, then we'll have no one to blame but ourselves because of this nonsense towards draining all the natural resources out of the ground that is causing the heat to escape from the inner core. It's not just the H2 emissions that we're putting up into the atmosphere that is causing problems. It is the fact that we are not evaluating the problem correctly, just like NASA has now verified 5 years in a row, the hottest on record. The hottest on record. But now you get somebody like Donald Trump to admit to that, and other people that I'm familiar with around here in this area, and you'll probably be waiting until hell freezes over. They're that stubborn. And why people are stubborn like that, why people are bamboozled and bewitched that way is beyond me. But you got people in the world that can look at the facts and reject them. And to me, these people are deceived. They've been bamboozled. Thanks again for listening.